What's good, Raider Nation? Welcome to Monday Night Madness. Heading into week 4, the Raiders were shorthanded, missing their two best on either side of the ball. They needed several players who needed to step up, who are typically role players or backup players. Now, let's talk about it. Who were the standouts and who did not? Join the madness.
Fact is, I grew up in Compton, California. I was born a Raider. I was born with the Raiders rolling in the Coliseum in L.A. I was rolling with NWA, talking straight out of Compton, rocking Raider hats.
Clicked in my mind that if you just run through somebody's face, a lot of people ain't gonna be able to take that over and 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 over. Run through a motherfucker face.
I think this journey is the most special because there's not a lot of people that have the opportunity playing in high school and college and then pro and then being injured and starting coaching as a young coach.
We understand what it's about. We understand Raider Nation. We understand Raider love. Since 1966, you guys have been coming to this stadium and you've been rooting this team on the victory. You've seen this team win 3 Super Bowls. You've been here through the ups. You've been here through the downs. But you never waver.
The mental side of the game is taking me to the next level, and it's true confidence. It's feeding your brain elite of elite. And as I always talk about 1% and more is required, and I always say these things, but it's what I live. I see it everywhere I go because you have to constantly train your mind for greatness.
What's good, Raider Nation? Welcome to Monday Night Madness. I'm Spicy Raider Girl here with my co-host Scotty Waddy, Raider One. Now, the Raiders pulled out a shocking 20-16 win against the 1-2 Browns. Let's talk about it. There were several guys that stepped up, and there were some that definitely did not. The hot takes today, obviously, who stood out, who didn't? Some business decisions were made. Standouts from the Raiders win. I have about 4 standouts, Scotty. We're going to go over. I don't know how many you have. And are your 2024 predictions on point? Mine kind of are, and I'll explain what that means. And then our prediction against going into week 5, 2-2 against the Broncos. Remember, everybody, light that torch, hit that like button, subscribe, join, and become a member. And most importantly, this show is for you, so we want you to join the madness. If you want to join, the backstage link is linked to the top there. And we're going to get into Scott's hot takes. You got the floor, my friend.
Ooh, let's do it. Hot take. You guys are not going to like me today, man.
Uh-oh.
A win is a win is a win. I always love it when the Raiders win. However, let's talk about what's real here. Winning this game, I believe, kind of hurt us a little bit.
Ooh,
I am talking through the lens of I think the season is kind of trashed already. I know a lot of people don't agree with me on that. That's my take on it. But moving forward with the way that I'm looking at things, if we sit here and we win these trash games against the third string team, where's it going to put us? Again, I've said this before. Where's it going to put us in the teens for the draft? That doesn't help us. We need to be in the top 5 for the draft. I don't want to lose. I'm not saying let's tank. Don't come on here talking about Scotty Waddy said let's tank. Scotty Waddy doesn't want to win. No, I want to win. But these types of wins aren't sustainable for what we need long term. It's great to win now. Long term, this does not help us. Let's talk about it. What do you guys think about what my take is? Where are we gonna go with this? What are we gonna do? Win 7-8 games and be in the middle of the pack again? I'm gonna go back to I said we got to bet the farm on Jaden Daniels. We didn't. We let Cliff Kingsbury go because we didn't want to pay him that 3rd year or whatever it may be. And here we are doing Raider shit because this organization doesn't want to put it out there like every other one does. Well, not every other one, but the good ones. And so again, we see what's happening around the league. We see I'm not going to mention any more names other than those because that was the draft and That was in our hands. Was Jaden Daniels and Cliff Kingsbury was in our hands. That was in our hands. We could have made that work. But again, we're the Raiders, and look what we got. Look what we're doing here. So everybody's now, oh, well, look at Minshew. Oh, that's great. Minshew completes passes behind the yard line of scrimmage. What the hell does that get us? So doing these getting these types of wins, it's great right now. Long term, it ends up hurting us. Unpopular opinion, but I'm glad we got the win.
You know, it is an unpopular opinion. I don't agree with not wanting to win, and I'm not saying that's what you're saying, but
no,
I think a lot of the points you made within that statement are true. But I still don't think it hurt us to get that win. You have to remember, like, I think when we go back to the prediction show again, I can say, I'm on point, but I'm not really. I predicted that the Raiders were going to be 2-2 at this point. After week 4, I had them at 2-2. The funny part about that is, and maybe nobody got it right, I've predicted every single game wrong.
Yeah, so have I.
I predicted every single game wrong. However, I still have them at 2-2. So for me, however they got to 2-2, they're exactly where I thought they would be at this point. And then going into week 5, they should beat the Broncos. Again, this season, the Raiders are always unpredictable. The season's going to be unpredictable. It's already been unpredictable. So who knows what happens traveling into Denver. But I think the Raiders do have a good chance to have a winning record, 3-2, at the going into the next week. So here's the thing, right? We could still, you can make the playoffs these days with. You can squeak in with like a 500 record. I know with the new extra game, you can't actually get 500, but that's kind of the standard. And if you kind of look, I mean, KC's running away with it already. They're 4-0. If you look at a lot of the other AFC teams, they're right there in 2-2.
Yep.
So is this a playoff team? I don't think so. Could they squeak in? Could they squib in there with 8 or 9 wins? Which is where I think they're going to land. Maybe, I don't know. But with that said, that's why I disagree with this loss hurt us.
Okay. So, but if we're talking, and this isn't a rebuttal, but if we're talking, could they squeak in? Are we still talking about the same mediocrity that we've been having the past 20 years?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
But I predicted they'd be mediocre. Like, I never thought they were going to go 13-4. I didn't even think they were going to get to 10. So mediocre to me is what I always thought they were going to be this season.
But that's where that's where I'm going with what I said, that long term it ends up hurting us because we end up being mediocre and we end up getting a player who's okay. Brock Bowers, I mean, great, man, it's awesome, what a great pickup. However, we can't get somebody to throw him the ball.
Yeah,
what does that leave? I'm saying the bigger picture is what I'm saying. And no, I don't want to lose. Of course I don't want to lose. I'm just looking I'm looking further ahead than what I think everybody's still celebrating the win. That's great. That's great. Yeah. I'm glad too. But I'm looking at, so what do we do tomorrow? So what happened? The last hot take we have here, prediction against the Broncos. You know what my prediction is? I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I don't know who's going to show up that game. I have no idea if the Carolina Raiders are going to show up, or if the Baltimore Raiders are going to show up, or if the Browns Raiders.
Anything in between.
Yeah, I don't know. We have no direction right now.
Fair enough. I think that's a fair statement, and it's impossible to predict. I think at this point, because like I said, I thought my prediction was 2-2 at this point. With every game guessing inaccurately. So there that is. But yeah, we're going to go into standouts from the Raiders wins, who we thought stood out, who we thought did not. But before we get into that, let's say what's good to the chat. What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us. Raider Paul, thanks for being in the building. Raider Ryan, Mother Moon, of course. April, what's good, girl? So sad, Oakland. I miss parking lot C. Oh boy, yeah. It was another sad day in Oakland if you're out there on Thursday. I managed to come home with some mound dirt and some field dirt and some other trinkets. So that was a nice it was like a celebratory funeral, I'll say. Felt like a playoff game and it felt like somebody died all in one, which is kind of weird. But we enjoyed our time out there. We actually lit up a cigar after the game, hung out there inside the Coliseum. The ushers are all friends of ours. They let us hang out and smoke a cigar like an hour after the game, so that was fun. But yes, definitely a sad day in Oakland. If that's what you're talking about, that's how I took it anyway. Sacktown Raider Mike, what's good with you? Yes, and of course, if you're watching over on Facebook, make sure to join us on YouTube so you can join the conversation. Ana Diaz, thank you always for tuning in. Jackie Soto, tell him Scotty. She you see, it's not an unpopular opinion with everybody. She agrees with you.
She's a Rams fan, by the way. That's why she agrees.
Okay. Fair enough. Carlos, what's good? Raider Nation for life. Raiders till death. We need to trade the farm for a QB. So this is what you were talking about, Scotty. But this is a narrative maybe for the last draft. I'm not so sure if this is the narrative for this draft. A lot of a lot of big name quarterbacks with potential. We don't know if they're great yet. That's TBD. But there were a lot of quarterbacks with a lot of talent, a lot of potential that came out of last draft. I'm not so sure that's going to happen in this draft. So Raiders till death. If you want to come on and tell us who you think they should trade the farm for, please do. Rambo Adventures, all the way from Thailand in the house.
Jeez.
What's good? Chef in the building. Thanks for tuning in. Come over and join us on YouTube, Chef. A. Terry. London in the building. First weekend in a while where both my teams won. Who's your other team? Addie, what's good? Hi, Mama Moon. What's good? Cute picture, by the way. Tell me. You gonna say something?
Oh, I was saying what's up, but yeah, I mean, no, let's get to the chat. I was going back to that bet the farm comment.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, that's what I said this last draft. But again, if we keep being a 500, I know there's 17 games. If we keep being a 500 team, we end up in the same position at 13, 14, 15 as we were the last time. So when are you going to bet the farm? When does the day come? The day's got to come sometime. Because Tyree Wilson and Cleveland Farrell were great first-round picks? Or what? Come on.
Well, that'll be my rebuttal to that, or the devil's advocate, however you want to put it. I think that's the risk with betting the farm, because we don't know who's going to be a good pick. Look at Bryce Young.
Sure.
Which, by the way, I wish would have played against the Raiders. We probably would have won that game.
Maybe.
So, yeah, we definitely don't know. But let's get into some of these business decisions. Antonio Pierce, as we all know, made a comment last week about certain players making business decisions. It was a lot of people speculated it was Jack Jones. Jack Jones did not make a start in this last game, which he typically does. So does that mean was he solely talking about Jack Jones? What do you think?
So it seems like he was at least talking about Jack Jones. But I kind of like the move that, hey, man, you're not going to start, but I didn't kick you off the team. I just kind of pulled your ear. I just kind of pulled your ear a little bit and said, hey, man, get your shit together. I kind of like that. You know, hey, I'm not throwing it, I'm not throwing you away, but put it together, get it together. So, okay, if that's what it seemed, it seems like that's what he was talking about. So, okay.
All right. Well, fair enough. I mean, Jack Jones did respond to it. So this is now, speaking of unpopular opinion, most people thought that what AP said in his press conference was acceptable. Yeah. I did not. I don't think you should throw your team under the bus and say, something like business decisions were made. That's something, in my opinion, you keep in the locker room, because then it leads everyone to speculate. It leads fans potentially to go from, he was a fan favorite. That comment was made, speculation was out there, and then he was attacked, right? Raider Nation's really easy to attack. So there's a statement made. Some wondered why Jack Jones was benched for the first quarter versus the Browns game on Sunday. Raiders head coach gave a brief answer that benching Jones was his decision. So AP saying he made the decision to do it. He said, yeah, that was my decision. But he went on to say that's between me and Jack. If it's between you and Jack, I respect that. It should be between you and Jack. but the entire narrative should have been between him and Jack, or him and whoever, and it should have been kept in the locker room. I don't think he should have ever made those comments about business decision. And now he wants to back away from it, which I think is the right decision, by the way.
Well, I mean, yeah, it is. He probably said it in the heat of the moment. Who wasn't mad after last week's game? You know, and you know, he's if he's backtracking it, if this is what that business decision is about, which it seems like it's alluding to, then you know, okay, he's saying, you know what, hey, that's between me and him. Leave it alone.
Yeah, I like that. And April did, and this is kind of what I'm getting to. He did apologize for that comment, which I think he should have. I think it's appropriate to keep it in the locker room. And I think Jack Jones had a good response to it. Unfortunately, he had to defend himself on social media last week, but I think this is a good response. He says, "That's ball. I mean, if I'm not up, I'm not up. If I'm up, I've got to play. That's something you've got to talk about, AP." To talk to AP about, man, I'm the player. So I think it was a good response from Jack Jones.
Like there's a mutual respect there. I think everybody's emotions were running high, and they squashed it. It seems like it to me.
Right.
Yeah. You know, everybody took responsibility for their part in it, and they let it be what it is. They're grown men out there.
Right. I agree. And I don't know that this next one necessarily has to do with business decisions. Scotty and we chatted about this a little bit earlier. There was some speculation. You don't like to speculate too much, but, you know, was Michael Mayer all decision, or is he, you know, he missed the game due to personal reasons. We have no idea what that means. Like you said, maybe it was a family emergency. Perhaps this was another one of those business decisions. We don't know. All we know is Michael Mayer was not in the building for that last game. What did you make anything of it at all, Scotty?
My take is I don't have a take. If they're saying it's personal reasons, again, there's so many things that could be personal reasons. I don't like to speculate on these things until it is what it is. I don't really like to speculate on this player said this one word and we make it what we make it. I just don't really like to do that. I like to deal with you know, what really happened. You know, you don't know what Michael Mayer have been going through. I mean, Tay was out because he's having a kid. That's a personal reason, right? Maybe Michael Mayer doesn't want to say what his personal reason is. Maybe he's a reserved guy and he just doesn't want to put that out there. It could be nothing. It could be a whole lot. I'm going to leave it TBD.
Yeah, no, I like that response. Let's take it at face value.
Sure.
Right. Let's take it at face value and hope that he's well and he'll be back on the field. I think that's all we can do.
Sure.
All right. Let's get to some of these. Again, we have these hot takes we're going to talk about. We still need to get to some of the standouts. I saw some of you already put who you thought the standouts were in the comments there. Let me know, what was everyone else's prediction after week 4? Scotty, what was yours? I don't recall.
I wasn't sure if we were going to win. I said it might be I said it was 50-50.
After week 4, like, what was the record? Did you remember what your record?
After the record, I thought we could beat the Chargers. I think we would lose to I've guessed every game wrong. I thought we would lose to Baltimore. I thought we would beat Carolina, and I thought we would beat the Browns. Even though,
so you got that one right.
Well, not really, because last week I said, "Hey, man, with the team that we got now, at the prediction show, I got it right." But now I'm kind of iffy on what this team is. Really, I have no idea who they are.
Well, I would agree with that. It's definitely all up to it's a crapshoot, really, what we're going to get every week, right?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
But let's talk about some of the standouts, because I thought there were some winners in the game. Sure. And when I say winners, I mean some guys who really stepped up, the guys who got chances because Max was out, the guys who got chances because Tay was out, the guys that got chances because Mayer and Epps were out and Jack Jones were out for various reasons, injury, benched, what have you, right? Various reasons. There were several guys out. Who do you? I mean, we can go. We go over kind of one by one. Who, I guess, out of everyone, just name a couple. Who do you think really stood out?
JPJ's got to be the top of the list. Hey, he did an amazing job. He did an amazing job on that offensive line. He was out there bullying people. There's a thing out there that says that the refs went to AP and said, "Hey, man, this guy's playing too physical." What?
Okay.
I thought this was football. What do you mean he's too physical? He was tossing people around. JPJ JPJ did an amazing job. He's out there with the crowd. He's out there with the Raiders in the locker room.
Yeah, he's really embracing being a Raider.
The real one. The next notable mention, man.
Well, can I just say while we're kind of on that, I would throw in the same kind of, the same is DJ Glaze in the bucket with JPJ. Sure. I mean, both of those guys, they really stepped up in their respected positions.
This offensive line that they had in this game was exponentially better than what we've seen the first 3 games. They made some mistakes. Colton Miller's getting pushed around, but I think Colton Miller's improving. I know a lot of people want to throw him away. I think he's improving week by week. Again, I think his offseason did hurt him, but he did get pushed around. But
yeah, I would definitely put the Colton Miller on the did not step up list.
Yeah, but again, he did get pushed around, but I'm not saying he's a winner for this game, but I think he's improved from the last game, and I think he's gradually taking steps. That first game was horrible. It was really bad. DJ Glaze, absolutely honorable mention in winners, definitely stepping up to the plate, next man up, and he took that in stride. You got to give him for that. I think that another guy I'm really looking at right now, and I have been all see Jacorian Bennett. He keeps coming up with plays. Man. He keeps coming up with plays. I forget his numbers. I saw him earlier, but I think his passer rating against him is like a 58. That's outstanding. With
that, you gotta throw Isaiah in there as well, right? I think both of them stepped up. In
his first start, gets a sack, gets in there on some plays. He was flying all over the field. Absolutely, Palomau had a game. What a game he had.
Yeah, he had mentioned that this is obviously start. Hey, USC guy, I'm loving that. But he mentioned that he couldn't sleep the night before. He was just so excited about being a starter, and I don't know if that was adrenaline he was running on or what. But he definitely, he had a sack. He broke up passes. He was everywhere. I really, honestly, this is the kind of stuff that happens. This is how people lose jobs.
Sure.
This is how people lose jobs. You say when they say next man up, and then. This is one game, so let's settle down a little bit, right? Well, but I gotta say, I kind of was more impressed than what I've seen from Epps.
Well, I think Epps was playing really well. The thing that stands out, though, you want to see a stat line. You want to see something on the stat line, and a lot of guys aren't getting on that stat line because they're not getting the sack or the pass breakup or whatever. But if you want to talk about not on the stat line that's doing really good, Adam Butler's having a hell of a season. Christian Wilkins, he hasn't had I think he had a half sack. He's doing really well, but you're not going to see that on the stat.
But his presence, exactly. His if you look at his stats, you're as of right now, we're not seeing the sacks and that sort of thing, but his presence is there.
Right. And going back
and again, he's another one of those guys. I like his energy. I like his vibe. I like the way he plays. He's embraced being a Raider, kind of like JPJ. Like that is contagious.
Definitely a positive. Everything you just everything. There's some more guys going back to Palomau. To get a sack, what a great play call by Patrick Graham to run a safety blitz and he wrapped him up. He took care of business. That's just a confidence booster, and to have a guy go out with the ACL and for him to step up like that, it's great. Yeah. But look, he deserves his flowers for this game, no doubt. Let's see what he does. Let's see what he does.
Since this show is all about the fans here, before we get into some more of our standouts, let's read some of these comments here. And again, if anyone wants to appear live with us on camera, the link is on top. It's pinned at the top. Or if you're camera shy, you can also call in and let us know what you thought. But yeah, I think there's some good comments here. The most notable, the run game. Most notable, the run game, right? The Raiders had more running yards in this one game than they did in their first 3 games combined. And Raider G, what's good? Glad to see you tuning in. We've missed you on the show, but this is the perfect comment to your point, JPJ. It's not a coincidence that our running game improved this game with JPJ when JPJ was in there. So
100%.
Kind of another one of those things you don't see on the stat line, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, what do you really see on the offensive line stat line? You know, you got to go into other types of metrics that show wins and losses per snap and all that kind of stuff. But you could see JPJ out there moving people. He was moving people, and it was notable.
Yeah, for sure. And I forgot to mention, if you're playing along with us tonight, our drinking game alert is winner. And we've got some winners that we're talking about right now. You know what to do. You either drink, toke, or twerk. You know what to do, Raider Nation. You already know. Let's get into some more of these. Raider Ryan says, AJ Cole out there doing the Ray Guy corner kick. Dude, that kick was insane.
Yeah.
I couldn't help but laugh, but I loved it.
Those cuts were amazing. That he was coming out 70-some yards.
Not only the distance, but the placement.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, the Glazinator. All right. I'm not mad at it. And Madison energized the run game. Even the wide receiver out there throwing good blocks. Yeah, I mean, you know who else was I had a couple of good blocks that I noticed was Bowers.
Oh, sure. Oh, Bowers is so versatile. I mean, he can block. He can play wide receiver out there if you need him.
Yeah.
He's just so versatile. He's a great player. He's a great player.
You know, and he's not one of the guys I put on my list as winners or standouts, because I guess I'm more looking at the guys who we weren't expecting to be in there or hadn't been in there that are stepping up. So that's kind of the angle I'm coming from.
We expect him to do great, so it's not like
right. You know, exactly. Yes, I am, darling. And it is delicious. I hate to talk bad after a W, but guard dog threw a couple more hospital balls, missed a lot of reads and wide open receivers, and got lucky on a couple of dropped picks. Yeah, you know, again, he's still not the answer. He did the best he could. We got the W. I think we should be happy about that. But yeah, if we're looking at his performance overall, he's still not it for me.
No, he ain't it.
You know, and it just to kind of piggyback off this, we don't want to get negative either, but really there were a lot of mishaps on the Browns. You can kind of say, did the Raiders win or did the Browns lose? I mean, look, if it wasn't for that extra point miss, it would have been 17-20 going into that final drive. They could have kicked a field goal, could have been easily tied at 20. You know, taking it into overtime. And then you look at, you know, Amari Cooper dropping that pass, hit right in the numbers. They shouldn't even call that an interception because it wasn't intercepted. Yeah. It was basically dropped. Yeah. You know, so, and I know we can argue back and forth about penalties and bad plays and this, that, and the other, but yeah, let's just say I'm glad the Raiders squeaked it out.
Palomal also put a hell of a hit on him too. He put a whacking on him.
There were some big hits on both sides of the ball for sure.
You know what? Speaking of winners, we forgot to mention one name, and again, I think this is in the Brock Bowers column, like you were referring to. We expect Robert Spillane to do hell of a game again. If I'm not mistaken, I can't remember the exact stat, but he was one of, I think, 2 people ever to have 10 tackles in the first 4 games of the season. And was Spillane again, and he had a few mishaps in the Carolina game, but overall Spillane needs to be re-signed. That guy is
for sure. And just his mentality and the way he plays, he's a Raider for sure. Since we did kind of critique Minshew here, I just want to throw this up there. From Davante Adams, he's one of the most mentally tough people I've been around. This is Davante Adams on Gardner Minshew. So when you have an endorsement like that, it's not a bad one.
Again, I take all these things with a grain of salt. What's he supposed to say? What would be the flip side of what he could possibly say? You know, I don't know. I just some of the comments I just don't like to read that much into them, because sometimes I feel like, what else could he say? What's he supposed to say?
But you know, you get put on the spot in a presser, and maybe that's the first thing he thought of. I mean, but you could just say, you know, he did his thing. He got us the win today.
And you could also read into that if you want. He's mentally tough, but he can't throw worth the shit. But he didn't say the last one. And he's mentally tough.
He's mentally tough, but I outrun his passes all the time.
I'm getting killed out there, but he's mentally tough. He'll come back and underthrow me again, but he's mentally tough.
Fair enough, Scotty.
It is what it is.
Yeah, this is a true point. April says, one of the best thing about the Raiders has always been our kickers. Sad but true. I mean, say sad. Like, we want good kickers, but we'd also like good quarterbacks.
we need more than once. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Raider G says, I agree. Spillane is a dog. He stepped up for sure. Again, maybe not on that list of standouts because we've come to expect this from him at this point, but definitely he's one of the guys that made the difference in that. By the way, can we just give it up for the defense? I think they stepped up in general. They have their captain out, defensive player of what was it, last week or 2 weeks ago, defensive player of the year basically last year. You have a guy like that out, it could bring morale down. There's a huge hole left to fill, but these guys stepped up.
Absolutely. Tyree Wilson had some good numbers. He's had some good numbers, and in this last game, you can't take that away from him. Again, it's not going to show up on the stat line, but he had good numbers. He did his job. Snowden, of course, he got the last.
That's what I was going to say. Yep.
But he had a decent game also. I
think more than decent. Those are big shoes to fill. I mean, when you fill in for Max Crosby, you seal the deal, in kind of in that position. Like, to me, that's huge.
Yeah. No, you can't fill Max Crosby's shoes. What you can do is go out there and try to make some plays. You're not going to fill his shoes. Come on. Nobody can around the league. You can't really fill his shoes. But for these guys to step up and get the job done, hey, props to them. Big props to them.
Yeah, definitely. Unfortunately, there was kind of an underperformance, I'll say, with Zamir White, but Alexander Mattinson stepped up. We talked about the run game a little bit. The run game has been a struggle for the first 3 games. We all thought, I shouldn't say we all thought, many thought, I don't think I'm in this boat, thought he was going to, why do we need Josh Jacobs? We have Zamir White.
Yeah. Now,
Mattinson, though, he actually proved himself yesterday, I thought.
Oh, I think he's been proving himself, to be honest with you. I think he's running back 1. I think we wanted to go with Zamir White for whatever reason. He's not getting the scheme. I'm not throwing Zamir White away saying he's a bad back. I think that Getsy's has to take some of this responsibility. Is Madison doing some better things? Is he maybe understanding the scheme better? That may very well be true. Again, the jury for me is still out on Zamir White.
Yeah.
Even Gardner Minshew, those first 2 games, I couldn't put everything on him because of the offensive line and the way that everything and the play calling and everything was going. I don't think Gardner Minshew is after our offensive line has improved and he hasn't. But something's going on with Zamir. I'm not sure what it is. I'm not ready to throw him away yet, but I think Madison should be running back 1.
Yeah, I think we've got some people in the chat agreeing with you as well. Let's talk a little bit about Jack Jones. Do we see him as, I don't want to say winners and losers really, but did he disappoint?
Last season, and this has been my thought on Jack Jones. Last season, he came in, on the AP hype train. AP brought him. Nobody wanted to deal with him. I'm kind of hoping like I said, AP pulled his ear and said, hey, slapped him on the wrist a little bit and say, hey, get your shit together. I'm kind of hoping that happens and he comes back with that energy for the rest of the season. But I don't know. I don't know if he's a winner or a loser. I think maybe squashing some of that the whole topic that we talked about already. Hopefully that helped him. He seems like a guy that's going to listen to a guy like AP. That's the take I get. I don't know. I'm not in the locker room, but hopefully that all that means something, and he comes back for us.
No, I agree. And look, he was a fan favorite not too long ago. One comment's made, speculation happens, and all of a sudden we all want to dismiss him and this, that, and the other. I mean, we know what type of player he is, right? That's why the Patriots ended up getting rid of him. Like, we know what type of player he is. He is who he is.
Yes.
You're going to miss a couple tackles here and there. Everyone does. I don't know. I think because of the comments, really reckless comments that were made, it's really been blown out of proportion.
Sure. Absolutely agree. Yeah. Let's see what happens next game. Is he benched next game? If he's not, okay. Let's hope that he bounces back. And again, these are grown men here. We can talk. We can talk like adults. This is what it is. Hopefully that's the way that this went, and he can step up and be the player that we've seen him to be. Yeah, there's missed tackles back. Yeah, but okay, I'll throw away that one game to give him another shot. Let's see what he's got.
Well, yeah, I don't even know that game's a throwaway. And correct me if I'm wrong, chat, fact check me here, but I think he had, I wouldn't even say missed tackles. Maybe he didn't go for the tackle. But he definitely had, I think he had like 7 tackles or something like that. So, and again, maybe the Raiders coaching staff is seeing things that, we're not seeing. They're used to seeing certain things maybe our eyes not privy to.
Sure. Absolutely. I'm not ready to throw him away. Let's let him get out there and play. He can play. We saw that he can play.
Yeah.
Let him get out there and do his job. Maybe, doesn't everybody need a little, hey, get it together. Doesn't everybody need a point?
Raiders, yes, definitely. Raiders Till Death says they didn't score a point when Jack Jones came in. All right. That's an interesting little tidbit there. Let's all remember AB has been coaching JJ since high school, college, and now pros. AP said a while ago that JJ needs tough love sometimes. And that's fine. Everyone does.
Sure.
But again, that stays I'll say it again, that stays in the locker room.
Right. No, that's fine. And that's fine. That's fair. But hopefully this is what it is. I'm hoping you're absolutely right there, Rambo Adventures. I'm all for it. Let him get back in there and let him do what he does.
This is interesting. I assume he's talking about JT the Brick, and I did not see his show. I was shocked to hear JT say right away today that Minshew needs to be benched. Rambo Adventures, please clarify. I don't want to say something inaccurately. I assume that's what you mean. I did not hear that, but that is an interesting comment.
I didn't hear that either, but hopefully you'll send us another comment to clarify that, because that's interesting.
Yeah, and not only clarify, maybe elaborate. Did he give a reason, and did he also give a remedy?
Sure. Yeah. I'd like to go back and hear what he said, if that's what he's talking about. JT the Brick.
Yeah. Rambo, spicy. Throw a shot of whiskey in that IPA. Well, maybe there's some Woodson coming for me on the way. I saw Mother Moon over here say refill time. So
yeah.
We got some requests. in the chat here. Thank you for thanks for keeping me honest with my drinking game over there, chat.
If not, you got to twerk or twerk. So choose your pose.
Well, I don't know how to twerk.
Your rules.
And I'm indoors, so I can't smoke. So I guess I better throw back some Woodson whiskey, right? What's up? Always good to have this guy in the chat, Sup Nation. We always want to hear from you too. Come on with us. You have the best comments. I know Scotty loves hearing from you.
Yeah.
So come on in here.
Yeah, I love Captain Rafucho. Yeah, let's go.
Minshew struggling, as we all can see.
Yeah, he's underthrowing. He's overthrowing.
April got jokes because she like her boy AOC.
Ooh, but no, April doesn't like AOC. What gave you the first idea?
But this is interesting. Okay, so we're going into let's talk about the quarterback matchup against the Broncos. Right? They have Bo Nix. I don't think he was a first round draft pick. First year, obviously rookie. I don't think any of us wanted him. Correct me if I'm wrong. At least nobody on our panel.
No, I didn't.
I can't speak for all of Raider Nation, but nobody on our panel. No. How do we see this matchup? I mean, you have a veteran guy like Minshew who's underwhelming. I'll say he's underwhelming. And then you have Bo Nix, a rookie who, who none of us wanted.
Yeah.
So what do you make of this?
Flip a coin.
Yeah, totally.
If you want to put them up head to head, I think you got to flip a coin. I at the end of the day, your coaching's gonna come into play. And if you're talking about those two quarterbacks, coaching's gonna come into play. It has to. It has to. Neither one of them are, some type of standout. I don't know. Some Minshew fan, which is fine. Some Minshew fan will come on here. Well, but Minshew's done this and done this and done this, man. Okay. Well, he's not doing it right now.
Yeah, definitely. Jackie says, wish I can relate a little more to y'all, but I'm a Rams fan. However, I'm here to support my friend Scotty. We appreciate your support. And good luck to him trying to convert me.
It's happening.
A challenge.
It's happening.
All right. Maybe she can like both, right?
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
They're in different conferences. It's all good. Yeah, we say maybe April. I'm just seeing this, but yeah, we didn't get to Snowden. Probably when you put this comment up, but yeah, Snowden for sure, definitely stepped up to the plate.
Yeah, and I think Javon Chason also. I mean, he was in some plays too. I mean, he's just coming off the practice squad. He was in some plays too. Again, everybody wants to see a sack. Everybody wants to see a touchdown. And if they don't see that, oh my God, no, there's more to the game than that. So it's.
Well, I think the perfect example of that is JPJ.
Sure.
Well, he has no really. I don't think. What stats does he have to show for?
Unless you're talking about PFF or whatever it's called.
But then you look at the impact he had on that game; it was astronomical.
Absolutely.
Both in play, both in other people's numbers, in the way he played, meaning energy and all that type of stuff. You're not going to ever see anything of that. I mean, he's kind of one of those positions though where you're just not going to see big stats like that.
Unsung hero type.
Totally.
Type player. But does it not say everything that the referees go to AP and tell him, hey man, calm this guy down?
That's wild. I actually didn't even know that. That's crazy to me.
Yes. Yeah.
Trey Tucker, yes, he was on the list as well. Right. Trey Tucker, the Raiders. The Raiders really stepped it up. Okay, so what do we want to say about? And I just want to go with the Getsy thing because, I mean, we most everybody wanted his head. Do we still feel that way? I mean, going behind the yard of scrimmage on third down. I heard the commentators even say, oh, that's a good decision. To me, that blew my mind. I didn't agree with that whatsoever.
Third and 17 or 18, and we're running a screen or something like that. And it was like two times like that. And what come on, man. Come on. No, that it just ain't it. This again, at the top of the show, my hot take was wins like these are unsustainable. And I'm going to stick with that. It's unsustainable to do that. That's great that we won, but you cannot beat good teams like this. Let's not forget that we were playing the third string Browns team. You can't overlook that either.
Well, fair enough. And that's one of the reasons at the beginning, the prediction show, I had actually the Raiders losing this game. But yeah, you can never tell who you're going to get. We didn't think we were going to be without two best players. This is an interesting comment. I know you don't like rumors. I know you don't like speculation, but I got to read this one. Rambo Adventures. Got something for you, Spicy. Murph was live broadcasting from the Crab Fest. And at the end, he said rumors were rampant throughout the room that a coach with the nickname of a doll was returning.
With the nickname of a doll? Oh, that doll. Okay. I'm about that life. I am going to tell you right now that I will welcome that.
All right. And I'm going to tell you, no, thank you.
Look, okay, hold on. Let me back my comment up. If that rumor is true and he's coming back as offensive coordinator, I'm about it.
Okay.
I'm about it.
How does that work, though?
Well, Cliff Kingsbury was a head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, and he's an OC.
With who?
Washington.
There you have it. I think you got John Gruden coming in to a Raiders team where he lost his job. He got fired. or resigned, whatever.
And I don't
And
know.
now you're under AP, a first-time coach. I don't know. I don't think that meshes well. Besides, again, then there's more turnover. Here we go again, turning over. Then we got to go back and get all the players that this doll guy wants.
Look, I agree with you with the turnover stuff, and when you've said this for a while about, you know, get rid of this guy, and we need consistency. And to be honest with you, at first I didn't agree, but I'm starting more to warm up. Yeah, you're right. We do got to get some consistency, but we can't leave in there what doesn't work. Again, Zamir White, should we leave him in there over Madison? Madison's working. It's the same thing. So right now, I do not think that
You can't tell what's working, though. I mean, we're 4 games into this guy but not being a full-time coach, not interim. Like, you've got to give guys more than 4 games. This is a general manager that's brand new to our team. You've got to give him more than 1 draft year.
Well,
this is going to take time to build, years.
But I'm talking about what's right now that clearly is not okay, and that's the offensive coordinator. It's not okay, in my opinion. I think that's got to go. I think you have to make that change. I do. And I said, look, let Marvin Lewis call the plays. Let somebody else call the plays. You know, do whatever you got to do. But this play calling, the first 2 weeks, everybody was all hyped up. Oh, look at Minshew. Look at his numbers. Oh, yeah, see, you guys didn't like Minshew. He's throwing a third of his passes behind the line of scrimmage. Dude.
Okay, but that's not on him. You're saying that's on Getsy, right?
Well, I think it's on both of them because the play calling is a screen on 3rd and long. And then the second thing is this guy doesn't see something wide. He needs the defenders to be 27 yards away from the guy he's throwing to, and he still under or overthrows them. So it's both of them because all he's going to do is check down, and he's checking down behind the line of scrimmage. So yeah, it's a completion, but it doesn't mean if we're not moving the ball, and we haven't been moving the ball very well.
I mean. Fair enough. I don't think Getsy or Minshew are going to lead this team to a Super Bowl. But I also don't think that firing people 4 games in is somehow miraculously going to help anything.
I think it might.
Okay.
I think we could turn something around. I'd be a little more optimistic if we had a different offensive coordinator, and if we have a different offensive coordinator. I don't think Minshew is the starting quarterback.
Well, again, the offensive coordinator that is there now, Getsy, he is a product of overchange.
Okay.
So we got stuck with who was left because of the constant inconsistency. And so I don't want to continue to welcome inconsistency.
Well, hold on. We got stuck with what was left because our organization did not give Cliff Kingsbury 3 years like he wanted. We only wanted to give him 2, and he walked.
Yeah, so, I know. That's part of what I'm saying. Okay. So get rid of Getsy. Then what? Who's coming in?
Again, if you can bring somebody else in that can change that up, or let Marvin Lewis call the plays, I'm okay with it.
Well, Raider G says Marvin Lewis is a defensive coordinator. He'll never call our offensive plays. Might as well stick with Getsy for the rest of the season. So I agree with that.
I agree that he is a defensive coach, but let me call the plays then.
Yeah, and this is terrible. 3rd and 15 and throws a pass 1 yard or behind. That's he's done that in several games. I agree that's terrible as well. Like I said, I thought it was interesting to hear the commentators say that was a good play call. But that because they wanted to play it safe type of thing. That to me, that's not a narrative I'm going to ever subscribe to. So I disagree with that.
And I heard that about playing it safe. They mentioned that also. And I'm sitting here thinking, oh, we're playing it safe with the weapons that we have, even though one was out. Okay, that's fine. But we're playing it safe with the weapons that we have, playing a 3rd string Browns team. Oh, well, that's genius. Come on.
Yeah.
Get out of here with that shit. No.
Minshew has stats like DC, had stats when he was here. Screw that stuff. Bring us the W's. All right. Yes, Raider G agrees. Amen, Spicy. Not 4 games in. We gotta ride. And again, I'm a little less reactive or panicked or stressed because they're right where I thought they would be. Scotty, I think you thought they were probably going to be better, so maybe that's why we're having a different mindset of where they are at this point in the season. April says, I was telling Scotty, how are we 3rd and 17 and running the ball in our own damn near end zone? It blows my mind. Yeah, that's been a problem. As we keep saying,
and April, April, we talked about how many times has this happened? This isn't a one-off. This happens time and time again in each game after game after game.
Okay, well then you look at the head coach and say, head coach, can you overrule that? AP must be subscribing to it or must be signing off to it if it's happening game after game after game. At what point do you say, no, we're not going to do that anymore?
Well, I think that it depends on the makeup of your team. So again, if you have that old Patriots coach, he knows about those things. If you don't know about something, you hire somebody who does. But
he at least knows about football. If we can sit here and think we know better, certainly AP knows better.
Well, yeah, sure. Okay. I'm not mad at your comment. I get it. I get what you're saying. It's a valid point.
All right. Thank you for the super chat. We appreciate you. Dem Oaks, $5, make you holla. Getsy is an all right OC. He's just not a good play caller. A better QB. That seems like a little bit of conflicting statement, but I hear you. He's trying to throw a positive spin on it. You know what I mean? We were led to believe that Minshew could scramble. He plays scared. Yeah, that last part is true. And I thought like initially he was scrambling too much. Like he immediately went to the scramble, which kind of looked like he was playing scared, I thought. Now I don't really see him being effective in a scramble whatsoever.
He's as much of a statue as any other player in there, if you ask me. And that's why I don't think he's the number one choice. We've kind of agreed that we don't want to say who's the better backup quarterback, and I'm going to stick to that because I don't want to get into that conversation. But the narrative was, oh well, he can scramble. Oh well, he can extend plays. Well, I can't tell. I ain't seen it. I ain't seen it yet, and not on this team. And I don't know. All roads point back to Getsy to me, and that's the way I see it.
And he carry on to say, put AOC in. Well, we'll see what happens. But I would like to thank you for your suggestion. I've got the Woodson Highs Manhattan. If you don't have it, pick it up. It's a pre-made Manhattan. So that's all you really have to do is pour it over ice and it's ready for you right here in this lovely bottle. And if you're in the Vegas area, go to my favorite place that carries Woodson whiskey, Barrels and Vine. It's in Henderson. It's over there by the Raiders facility. And thanks to Barrels and Vine, we are going to be raffling off the commemorative bottle of the Woodson whiskey, the 60th anniversary. Is that what it is? I think that's what it is. Bottle. We'll have a couple cans of Raider branded Modelo and a t-shirt as well. So look on Spicy Raider Girls page if you want to win that bottle. Compliments of Barrels and Vine. Go pick up a bottle or two.
Let's do that.
All right, let's see what else we got in here. Raider G, me either, Spicy. He doesn't extend plays with his legs like he did with his previous teams. What the hell?
Again, does that not point? I don't know. Did he just stop using his legs, or is the scheme not designed this way? It just seems logical to me, but maybe I'm wrong. That's fine.
Two truths can be there. I think both can be true. Okay. Y'all are crazy. Clearly, Aiden isn't good. They see practice. We don't. Aiden isn't good. Minshew is by far a better QB. I don't know who you're calling crazy, but I'm really not advocating for either one. I think both of them are backups.
Sure.
I'm going to support whoever's in, but I'm not sitting here screaming for one or the other.
Well, I'm not screaming for one or the other necessarily either. But again, we have a pass-first team, and the better passer is AOC.
That statement, I agree with you.
God, he's shown us this.
Yeah.
Minshew
The accuracy is better. The strength is better.
Yes, and that's why I'm advocating for him at this point.
Okay, I'll take that. That's the thing with the weapons we have, especially with the running game not working and Minshew not really moving.
Correct.
In that aspect, that's a good point.
So what is he beating AOC out on? Is my question.
Well, again, we don't know that. Like Raider Vision says, we don't see Pratt. We don't see. So I can't answer that.
Yeah, that's fine. That's a fair comment. We don't see the practice. You're right, but at one point, why aren't we using the weapons that we have? And the weapons that we have are not in the backfield.
That's true.
So I don't know. 1 + 1 always equals 2 to me. That's my math.
All right. So the math isn't mathin', Scotty's saying. They
They
put in Minshew because of Coupon Tom. Had to justify paying a backup $15 million. Isn't it weird that a GM has to say who plays? That's an interesting comment. Of course, he's talking about the new GM, Tom Telesco. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not mad at the comment.
I'm not mad at the comment either. I have praised AP for the fact that for things that it seems like he doesn't know, he brought in somebody who does. And I kind of feel like some of the I don't think AP is the shot caller right now. I think there's other shot callers there, and it might be Telesco. I'm not sure right now, but I don't think he's being the shot caller right now.
Well, we have the answer. We figured it out. Ernest says, I'm waiting for Archie Manning in the 26th draft.
There's some good quarterbacks coming out in this draft. There's some good quarterbacks coming out.
Yeah, I've heard some whisperings. I think I've heard Deion Sanderson as a whisper.
He's one. The guy out of Georgia, Brock. The guy out of Miami is another one. Deion Sanders' son. I don't particularly care for Deion Sanders' son. I don't like all that hype, man. I don't.
Yeah.
I want somebody more quieter. That's not. I just don't like that. Well,
it makes it hard for expectations, right? It really. I mean, this guy's gonna have to come out and just be a stud. Otherwise, it's gonna be a failure in people's eyes just because of all the hype behind it.
Yeah, I have PTSD. Look, we have too many trouble. We've gotten through week 4 with no drama. I mean, relatively no drama. I mean, nobody's gotten arrested.
Maybe the bad decisions things was a little drama, but yeah, better than most years. That's for sure. But we have another solution here. We tank for Jamarcus Russell, obviously.
Beck, thanks, Ernest Biaggi. Beck, it's Beck out of Georgia.
There you go. What I think he means, what if Raiders entertain for a starting quarterback like Stafford and draft a QB in 25?
That's an interesting comment, Rick. I'd like to address that. I am not for really bringing in these quarterbacks like that. These veteran quarterbacks that hasn't seemed to work for us. However, I have heard the rumors about Stafford, and I think that may be a pretty decent solution. Exactly what you're saying there, Rick. Bring in Stafford and draft in 25. I think that may be a good solution. I'm not mad at that idea. I'm not mad at that idea whatsoever. It's a Band-Aid, but it's a better Band-Aid than the one we got.
Yeah, hey, I'm not mad at that, but I don't know this, and I'll ask this to maybe you, Scotty, or to the comments. If you know, what would that cost?
For Stafford?
Yeah.
It might not cost that much. Stafford's probably on the back end of his career.
Well, they still have some of that Jimmy G money they're holding on to, right?
Got 33 million, I believe.
Yeah.
They got some money.
Honestly, I'm surprised they didn't make a move with that.
Again,
maybe there's a plan.
Do I have to say this organization one more? That should be the drinking game.
Oh my gosh. If that was the drinking word for my channel in general, the wrap. All right, let's read some of these comments here. Do you think Myers, wide receiver, has been unusually quiet so far this year, or is it just me?
If you want my take on it, I'm gonna go back to Getsy. Why aren't we using him more? When we got Bowers, the first thing Omar said, and I've agreed with him thus far. I didn't see it at the moment, but I agree with him thus far, is that we can run a 12 personnel, and we're not running that 12 personnel like we should, because Myers is a solid tight end. So I'm not sure. I don't know how to answer that exactly, but it's a great point.
Yeah, very good point. April says, so do you think Tom Telesco named Minshew the starter against the Chargers, knowing that AOC helped to put up 63 points against them last year? I'm just playing devil's advocate. Ooh, she's deep into this AOC love.
Yeah, that's a good conspiracy theory. If I had to answer that, I would say no.
I would say no.
I don't like to think that, oh, well, this guy came over to, throw a bomb in the Raiders locker room. I don't like to think that, so I would say no. But yeah, I don't think so. I think everybody who's in the sports world, they say people throwing games and all. I never really believe that. I think people who have made it to this level are so competitive that they want to get the job done.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some bad apples and everything.
Yeah.
But, I just don't like.
Would it really behoove him? Like, what advantage would he get from that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. What does he get?
Jason Grady, what's good? Thanks for joining us. Remember, everybody, if you haven't already, light that torch, hit that like button, and please hit the subscribe button if you aren't subscribers. We appreciate all of you. Hey, Scotty, our quarterback is up in this upcoming draft. The 2 quarterbacks I'm looking at are Milroe or either Ewers.
Right.
It's tormenting watching our quarterback play. It just is. Do you want to comment?
Shout out to my boy Jason. That's my boy. Milroe is yeah. I mean, anybody coming out of Alabama and the SEC is NFL ready. I always say that. For the most part. I still remember Alex Leatherwood, but anyways. But guys playing in that conference are good. Milroe looks really good. I wouldn't mind him. Not at all. I think though that going back to Rick's comment about Stafford, I think a real veteran with real veteran presence would really help AOC out a lot. I think it's something we need. I think we need a veteran presence back there that we don't have right now.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right, let's see these other comments. I know my pick. Which offense is worst? Art Shell 2.0, McDaniels, or Getsy?
I don't know. I don't know. Don't get me started on this. McDaniels,
give us the short version. I'm gonna go McDaniels. I just think he just I don't know about the direct comment, but it just seemed like putting him in just put a big wrench in the whole thing.
I'll tell you what. I think I'm going to agree with you with McDaniels because my hate for him runs extremely deep. So I'll agree with you with McDaniels, but it's a toss-up if you ask me.
Okay. And what is Minshew? What is his quarterback rating at? What is he at? Like 24 or something? 26? Do we know?
I don't know.
If you know what it is in the chat, please let us know. Anyway, he's pretty far down there.
Everybody was hyped up about, and again, I brought this up in, I think it was week 2, and I said, yeah, he did 31 passes, but a third of them, 11 of them, or I think it was 11 of them, were behind the line of scrimmage. That we don't play the game behind the line of scrimmage. Okay, he's completing the passes because nobody's expecting the damn ball to go backwards. So, I mean, it's killing me. That's killing me. Like, come on. It's just killing me.
Fair enough. Rick says, joining us all the way from Hawaii, Stafford has 2 years on his contract, ending in 2025. So I guess after he won't be available to 26 is what he's saying.
Yeah, unless I mean, look, everything's possible. Everything's possible.
But Derek Carr wasn't available either, right?
Yeah, those those NFL contracts are they're not worth the paper that they're written on.
All right.
If you want it, you want it. If you want it, you can get it.
I agree with this. Sacktown Raider Mike, the Raiders don't tank, especially not with AP. I don't see tanking either.
No,
Mother Moon, I'm not mad at this.
I'm
Raider,
with it.
yeah, I'm with it. Raider Vision, go after Ewers or Monroe. This QB class is so underrated. Will be much better than last year's.
I agree. Again, I'm going to sound like a damn parrot in our next draft show, and I'm going to say, go get the damn quarterback. Get the guy we need.
We have to try some kind of move at QB. That is 100%. And it's just another year. Raider G says Shell 2.0 was the worst.
Fair enough.
All right.
You got better memory than me, maybe, but and I'll tell you right now, my hate for McDaniels is deep, man. I there's the Kansas City Chiefs and there's McDaniels, and they're right there neck.
Oh wow. Okay.
I hate that fool.
Mother Moon will go. She's gonna go on the McDaniels as well. What was the other one? This one, Getsy. That's right. April says, I'm just saying, I'm wondering what it would be like right now if they would have named AOC the starter in the jump. Honestly, April, we can't tell. We never know. This is probably the most unpredictable team in football, to be honest. But honestly, I think they'd be the same. I think they're interchangeable. I think they'd be 2-2. I know we have our each person has their favorites. Some like AOC as quarterback, some like Minshew as quarterback. At the end of the day, I think they're both mediocre. I think they're both backups, and I think they're both going to lead the Raiders. They would both lead the Raiders to an 8 or 9 win season. I don't think it really matters. What do you think, Scotty?
Again, I'll go back to I couldn't put all the blame on Minshew, especially the first 2 games. That offensive line was just horrible, and I don't think anybody could have done that well with it. After that, I think Minshew bearing a lot more of the blame than I gave him in the first 2 games. But he's not the answer. He's not the answer. Again, I'm gonna stick with what I said. We're a pass first team, and we have excellent weapons as receivers, and we are not utilizing the best passer that we have on the roster.
Yeah,
I don't know if he'll do better or great behind. I don't know that, but I think he can be more accurate, and we can move the ball better.
All right, fair enough. Let's go into some predictions against the Broncos this weekend. Prediction on this weekend's game. Here's the thing. I think we both said this early on. It's a crapshoot, I think, at this point. I thought they'd be 2-2, but I predicted every game wrong. So I think they're probably going to win this game. That was my original prediction. I'm going to stick with it. I think they'll be 3-2. However, Scotty said this earlier. I think it's a coin flip. It's a coin toss. I think the Broncos are favored by like 1.5 points, 2.5 points, something like that. And the over-under's 36, something in that range. It's too hard to predict. I just think it's really a crapshoot. But I'm gonna go with the Raiders. I'm gonna stick with it. That's what I predicted originally. I'm gonna stick with it. Scotty?
I've been wrong on every single game, so I'm hoping my streak continues. The Raiders lose. Hopefully my streak continues. I don't know. They just played the Jets. They beat the Jets 10-9.
Yeah.
And the Jets are supposed to be this powerhouse now. With that, I can't tell.
It's true.
I don't know what I don't know if the Carolina Raiders will show up or if the Baltimore Raiders will show up. I don't know. I don't know who's showing up to the game.
And at this point, I mean, we don't really even know who's going to be playing, right?
Well,
and really, it doesn't even matter. I mean, look what happened. Look what happened last game with all the players that were out due to whatever reason, benched, injury, personal reasons. And they got the W against a better team. I think the Browns are a better team than the Panthers. And then against the Panthers, those guys were there. Yeah. And it was essentially a blowout. Like, who can predict this? Who knows?
Yeah.
Let us know what you think in the chat, though. Let us know what you think your prediction is for the Raiders going over to Bronco country,
Bronco country. Is that what they call it?
I guess.
Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
You
JP,
know. I'll tell you this. I really. You know what would hurt me more than a loss is that we're losing that 8-game win streak. That would hurt me more than a loss.
wait, that would what?
It would hurt me. It would hurt me to lose the 8-game win streak that we have against the Broncos. That would hurt me more.
I see.
Yeah, I'd like to keep that string that streak alive. That's my how do you call it? My diamond in the rough, if you will, for this game.
No, you just jinxed us. Shame on you.
I know, right?
If the Raiders lose, it's all your fault. Just kidding. JPJ and Glaze looked good. It's no coincidence that the running game worked with both of them out there. Hopefully, Parham is okay. We can't put all the blame on Getsy when your players are not executing. I mean, that's true too. And we talked about that earlier. JPJ and Glaze really stood up and stood out. What did actually I can Google this really quick, or if you guys know, I don't recall what the Raiders ended in exactly in rushing yards, but I definitely know it was more than the first 3 games.
Yeah. Well, I want to address part of that comment. We can't put all the blame on Getsy when our players are not executing. You're right. 100%. However, the main player that's not executing is Minshew. You know, and the play calling is not executing either. So, you know, I get it, man.
There's 152.
There's been some drop passes. There's been, you know, I dig all that, but are they not buying into the system? Are the players not buying into the system? But again, throwing behind, throwing in front, throwing over, throwing under, and throwing behind the line of scrimmage, checking down for everything.
So tight.
That's a scheme. That's a scheme issue. You know, and the quarterback. I just think both of them need to go.
All right, fair enough. Jason Grady says, I don't know about you two, but I cannot pick the Broncos against us. That just won't happen. I don't care what our record is. Oh, yeah. And you're right, Scotty. I don't know which defense we're going to see. I mean, listen, we don't want to sit here and, you know, say the Raiders are going to lose either. But, I mean, it's also not realistic. And it's not really true to the show if we're going to sit here and say the Raiders are going to win every single game.
Sure.
I mean,
look what we said about the Carolina game. I mean, we had that in the bag. We knew that was a win. That was, you know, but here we are, you know. So yeah, I don't know who's showing up. That's just being realistic.
Yeah. Anthony Acosta said 9 in a row going to be tough. Yeah, now we're like, I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Raiders 20, Broncos 16. Tone in the building. What's good, Oakland Raider Tone?
What's up?
George, what's good? I say the Raiders will play fundamental football. Defense will be on point. Raiders.
I hope you're right. I mean, you know, hey.
Uh-oh. This is another trap game, so a loss makes us 0-2 in the division. Let's hope not.
The whole term, I heard people calling the Carolina game a trap game. That gets thrown around because it's like it's a game that we could lose, and I don't particularly care for that term. What exactly is a trap game? What defines that? What's a trap game? Everybody's getting paid out there. Go do your job.
Well, by definition, it says a trap game is a game where a highly ranked team plays against a lesser opponent and is expected to win.
Well, yeah.
In that aspect, that's a lot of games, right? But I think when you look at a team like the Raiders and you look at a team like Carolina, maybe when it's so in our minds, it's so unevenly balanced because of the low performance of Carolina, especially what did they have 2 games last year? Yeah. You know. So I think that I get it though. The term is a little weird, but I think that's where it comes from. But I definitely don't see the Broncos game as a trap game. If we're going even by definition, these two teams are both mediocre.
They play 2 times a year. trap games are those where there's a team that's halfway good. Maybe it's a trap game for the Broncos, but not for us. I don't know. I just don't particularly care for that. I don't know. Tomato.
This comment.
Yeah. That's why I said maybe it's a trap game for them.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Right, and I certainly don't see the Broncos as a trap game. I think I've said this. I've said this at the prediction show. I think the Raiders are in the running. They're fighting for third place in the AFC West, and the third place is between them and the Broncos. So to me, this is not a trap game. These are two teams that are mediocre at best. Are going to finish both probably and should and will, I think, finish middle of the pack in the AFC.
I like 3 or 4 months ago, I vehemently disagreed with you, and right now I am agreeing with you. Mine has changed.
And I'm not glad I'm right. Listen, I don't want the Raiders to lose, and I'm tired of them losing. I've seen them lose my entire life, but I'm a realist, and I see the product that we're given. I see the product that we've put on the field, and I can't sit here and say they're going to win every game because it's not the case. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be a hater. I don't mean to disrespect any of the players. I don't want to disrespect Max or Tay or anybody and think, that they don't have it, but I'm sitting here analyzing what I see, and that's what I see.
Hey, look, again, I'm going to go back to the top of the show. Look, we have players on the team, man. I still think that if we had a good organization, that there would be coaches out there dying to coach this team. I really do. We have great players, but we're not putting it together. And that's got to, okay, well, if it's not the players, you got to move to the next level up. And you got to keep going.
Let me tell you my main concern with that. Everyone keeps saying, right, we're a few pieces away. That's too many pieces away.
I don't think.
And this is why I say that. We can't wait. Tay's not going to be there forever.
Nope.
Max isn't going to be there forever. You know what I mean? So we don't really have years and years to fill those other voids and expect those studs to be there, whether it's due to them wanting to be traded or retirement. We don't have the luxury of time with those stud players.
And don't be mad at them. Don't be mad at them like you all were at Josh Jacobs. Don't be mad at them. Do not be mad at them because we're just not putting it together, man. I cannot be mad at these guys. I just can't. They're competitive and they want a ring, and who isn't looking at, again, on paper? Damn, dude, really? This is what you got on paper and you're not putting this thing together? Again, that's why I say these wins are not sustainable to get us to where we want to be. That's my point to this. I'll digress.
No worries. Oh, so evil. What's good? Division games are never trap games. Even both teams are bad. They play harder because they are rivals.
Agreed. 100%.
Rambo Adventures. I can tell you one thing about the Raiders over the past 20 years that I've learned: never buy a current player's jersey. No kidding. Dude, you got to buy custom jerseys, or you got to buy like a Hall of Famer, or maybe even like a future Hall of Famer who you know is going to be a Hall of Famer. But don't be out there buying those Renfro jerseys, people. Don't be out there buying those Waller jerseys, people. Scotty, do you have both of those?
I got my Jacobs on right now. I got my Jacobs on. And you know what? And I'm going to tell you this. I'm proudly wearing my Jacobs.
And I'm going to say this to Mother Moon. Mother Moon, get your drink ready. I'm not mad at it.
No, I just, that's tough because you're right. But at the end of the day, I still have to go back to organization. You got rid of a quarterback that we had. You can't replace him. You got rid of Waller. He went. What happened to Renfro? Renfro wasn't a fan favorite. Renfro was a hell of a fan favorite. What happened? You brought McDaniels in and nothing.
I didn't believe in Renfro. I know he was a fan favorite. I don't think he produced well, and I agreed with him not being out there. And really, honestly, the rest of the league does too because he's unemployed.
Well,
So you can't blame McDaniels for not playing him because literally no other team wants to play him, or they would have signed him.
well, going back to that doll, he sure knew how to use him.
Fair enough. No, I'm good, but I appreciate it. I appreciate it, Raider G.
I'll take it.
There you go.
My
You can
son
always
has
just get a little nameplate on the back, switch it up a little bit, make it custom.
my son has a one plus, so
All right. Scotty, do you want to know where your Stella is?
today I got my Pacifico. So
Uh-oh. Let's see. Have Madison as our RB1, run the ball, look for mismatch, and attack them until the Broncos adjust. There we go. We got our new OC right here.
there you go. There it is right there.
Is that easy?
There you go.
I have a number 2 jersey. Never again. I'm wearing it, actually.
Yay!
Scott Daniel Carlson.
Oh, not the other number 2?
With customized nameplates these days, it could be any name you want. All right. Well, remember, you can catch us here every Monday for Monday Night Madness. We really want you all to be part of this show, though. So please, next time, appear on camera with us or call in because this show is all about you. We want you to join the madness. George, thank you so much. We appreciate your super chat. He says, let's go Raiders. Just win, baby. You know that's right. We appreciate your donation to help support this show. Remember, the way you can support the show is always just hit that subscribe button. It's free to subscribe. And thank you all for all of your comments. We appreciate you. Jason Grady says, Josh McDaniels is a black cat on the sideline. It's further pushed back in our progression to improve. That's why he gone.
Yeah, that set us. I agree that set us back. That set us back.
100%. Yes, and thanks, Raider G. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you. Call in next time. By the way, he always has great commentary. So one day, again, hopefully he'll come in or call in or even appear live with us. Sinister Raider, what is going on with you? Thanks for tuning in. Ricardo, joining us all the way from New York City, or maybe he's in Florida. He goes back and forth. Love the insights, Raiders. And by the way, I just want to give a shout out to everyone that's watching. I mean, we've got New York, Florida, of course, Vegas, LA, Oakland, Hawaii, Texas, Thailand, London. We're worldwide here. We appreciate you all staying up whatever hour it is.
Love it. Appreciate that.
You see, I'm wearing my Bo Jackson. I'm all in, baby. You can't go wrong with Bo Jackson, honestly. I got a Bo Jackson. I've got the Salute to Service Bo Jackson one. Okay, all right. Now we're going to have a little intervention. This is actually a little bit of a pet peeve of mine.
I knew you'd take exception to this.
You know what? If you're baiting me, this is working. This is a little bit of pet peeve of mine.
Yeah.
Only because he's a current player playing for another team. Okay? He's a current player playing for another team. So when I see Derek Carr jerseys in the crowd, it drives me crazy. And when I see like a Fresno State Derek Carr jersey in the crowd, it drives me crazy. He plays for another team, y'all. Just saying.
All right.
Just saying.
Spicy about that shield. I ain't mad at you. Spicy about that shield.
I'm not wearing no other team's quarterback jersey. Honestly, I had Derek Carr jerseys. I gave them away. Just saying. I gave them away to the Las Vegas Raider fans because I don't even know any difference. That's a true statement.
Don't get me started because I told you after the game last week what I saw and I was livid. Oh, I was so mad at that.
Remind us while I drink my.
And there was a
the jersey that you can wear right here, Woodson. Get that 24, y'all.
There was a fan, quote unquote, wearing a blue Raiders hat that said "Dem Boys" on the side of it. I swear to I am not a violent person, but the Inglewood was coming out in me. I was like, I wanted to just slap it off his head. What are you doing? What are you doing? Like, please. I'm not mad at a Blue Raiders cap. I'm not mad at that, but not at the game.
Time and a place.
And then you paid the lids an extra $40 to embroider "Dem Boys" on the side of it. Really? Man, I didn't even want to mention that because I didn't want to make you famous, but I hope I did.
Yeah, that's a little weird, definitely.
We're not doing that.
All right. Also, Evil says keep the car jersey in the back of the closet because you might need to pull it out again. We're just BSing now. We're gonna get out of here in like 5 minutes. We just having fun now.
We talked about that doll coach, and now we're talking about car. Oh man!
Oh my goodness, my head hurts. See, this is what happens when we go overtime in our show. The madness is happening. This is a different kind of madness than we intended the show to be, but now.
Y'all gonna make Spicy's blood pressure skyrocket.
Is that why I'm feeling it in my temples? Like, honestly.
We love the comments, but don't kill my girl, man.
Oh, I feel it right here, Scotty. Right here. It's gonna massage this down a little bit.
Look, Spicy.
I got it. I'm good. Sinister Raider gets it. Sinister Raider gets it though.
Oh man.
This is true. Throwback jerseys every time. Buying current jerseys is just hard because the players move around so much. I mean, there are some current players you can buy. Like, I would sign off on a Mad Max jersey. You know, because he's even if he ends up saying, you know what, I'm over this nonsense, I want to go win a ring somewhere, he's going to be a forever Raider. He's going to go somewhere. If he does, he's going to win his ring. If he does, and he's going to retire as a Raider.
You know what the argument to that is, right?
So
is Carr. That's the argument. That's the argument.
I see, now my temples are really in action here. The fact that you think that fool's going to win a freaking Super Bowl.
Hey,
I think you've had one too many Pacificos, homie.
I'm just saying that's
just never happening. Who's he gonna win a Super Bowl with? Anyway, I can't even anymore.
I don't know. Stranger things have happened.
Anyway.
We're going to leave you alone tonight.
I know, right? See, this is what happens.
Hey, I'm calling for a truce in the
Thank
name
you.
of Spicy. I'm calling don't put Carr in Gruden comments, please.
Oh, okay. Now my brain is really going to explode.
Oh, no. Vegas fans don't get why Marshawn was dancing on the sidelines? Maybe not. Maybe don't get it.
Actually, that's actually true. I don't know why my brain would explode. Why would I expect him to know that?
Comment. I was taking exception to that comment.
I think this is the most perfect comment to leave on coming up right here. Raider G, our sentiments exactly. We will never be a future success if we keep rehiring coaches and players from the past. Leave Carr and Gruden in the past and wish them well. Agreed. We don't. She not Moon. He not mad.
I'm not mad.
Drink. Leave it in the past. Leave it in the past and quit with the overturn. Quit with the changing. Let's just hope we get into the playoffs with an 8-9 record. How's that?
That's sticky.
It's sticky icky. Speaking of sticky icky, whiskey, wild women, and weed is Ernest Jam.
Wait. You forgot the twerking on there. You forgot the twerking.
Got the twerking.
Yeah, weed, you gotta mention the twerking.
Let's not get into the controversy of this statement.
Once a Raider, always a Raider. Look, I have called for that saying to be put on suspend for a while. I've said it on this show before. Can we just subdue that comment for?
Here's the thing. I think it originally meant that the Raiders are very welcoming back of the alumni, the old guys, the old cats that we've grown to love, whether we were alive when they won Super Bowls or not. I think that's kind of where this saying came from, right? This was before the Jamarcus Russells. This was before the, what's his face, Antonio something or other.
Yeah, he wasn't a Raider.
Exactly. All right. Any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Nothing. Raiders. Let's go Raiders. Let's see what we can put together. Again, I hate to be thinking so far in advance. I hate it. I hate that I'm a little bit less optimistic than Omar, my good boy Omar. I'm a little less optimistic than him, but I can't call it on this season. This one's tough for me. It's a strange place to be this season.
All right, fair enough. Like I say, we got to keep rooting for them. We got to root for Raider Nation every Sunday, every day they play. But remember, catch us here. You can catch us here on this channel for life. Our Raiders story on Wednesday, 6 p.m., the Spicy Shield Talk with my boy Chris from Protect the Shield. And then, of course, you can always catch us here, Monday Night Madness. Don't be shy next time. We want you to call in. We want you to appear on camera. Thank you all for watching. Thanks to you that gave us the super chat. We appreciate you. Right here, $5 make you holla. And thank you for the $2 donation as well. Let's go Raiders, just win, baby. We appreciate you. And remember, we go out one way and only one way. Raiders!
Fact is, I grew up in Compton, California. I was born a Raider. I was born with the Raiders rolling in the Coliseum in LA. I was rolling with NWA, talking straight out of Compton, rocking Raider hats.
Clicked in my mind that if you just run through somebody's face, a lot of people ain't gonna be able to take that over and 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 over. Run through a motherfucker face.
I think this journey's the most special because there's not a lot of people that have the opportunity playing in high school and college and then pro and then being injured and then starting coaching as a young coach.
We understand what it's about. We understand Raider Nation. We understand Raider love. Since 1966, you guys have been coming to this stadium and you've been rooting this team on to victory. You've seen this team win 3 Super Bowls. You've been here through the ups. You've been here through the downs. But you never waver.
The mental side of the game is taking me to the next level, and it's true confidence. It's feeding your brain elite of elite, and as I always talk about 1% and more is required, and I always say these things, but it's what I live. I see it everywhere I go because you have to constantly train your mind for greatness.
Thanks for watching Monday Night Madness, Raider Nation. Remember, tune in Wednesday at 6 p.m. for the Spicy Shield Talk. Good night, everyone.